Hello everyone, it is Tuesday, November 3rd of 2020 here from the snowy climes of Ottawa, Canada. That's right, seasons are changing, it's getting cold, there's snow on the ground here, but nonetheless, the podcast continues. Chris here, along with my boys Tyler and Shaker. Full house is back here in the studio tonight. Thanks for joining us again on the Backmarkers F1 Show podcast. This is episode 96, looking at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix recap. A little bit of a handful.
That was well done.
Thank you. I wish they would have just went with either San Marino Grand Prix or Imola Grand Prix.
Yes,
but
I don't know why they didn't go San Marino.
I don't know. It would have been a nice little throwback, right?
It would have been.
Anyways, what are you going to do? Just a reminder to let you know that we are sponsored by thegpbox.com. Check the links down below if you want any discounts on some great F1 memorabilia or merchandise. And check out those links. We'll put it all in the description of this video. All right. I almost forgot one more housekeeping note. If you guys head to our profile on our Twitter page, pinned at our profile is our giveaway contest for our 100K video challenge. So the Max Verstappen fans, whether they're better than the Italian Tifosi, that video I think is hovering around 83,000 views. Thank you to everybody that's checked out that video, but we want to get it to over 100,000 views as that would be our first 100K video. So all you got to do is you got to either retweet or like the tweet. You can do both if you want another entry. Click the link to the video. Once we get over 100K views, we will randomly select a winner and send you that great prize. It is a Race Used 2014 Mauritia 7th gear ratio. So I've ordered it. It is on its way. Hopefully, if we get it,
it's the actual gear.
Yeah, it's the actual gear ratio.
Where'd you find that?
That's from our friends at the GP Box, of course.
Oh
yeah, I have ordered.
I honestly did not mean to put a plug in there, but that worked out great.
It worked out. We did not plan that, but yes, it comes with a certificate of authenticity. And guys, I can confirm I did order last year as a gift for someone a Mercedes wheel nut clock, and it is superb quality. If you're an F1 fan, or if you have somebody in your life that's an F1 fan, you're gonna love this. It makes a great decoration, or just as a paperweight.
And I want that. Can I enter the contest?
Absolutely.
No,
you can't. You can call our friends at the GP Box.
Are there other gear ratios out there?
They are sold out now.
Oh,
I got the last one. It's a very rare piece. So this guys, this is a very rare find. I mean,
this is sweet. Why are we giving this away? Give them something else. I want that.
Give them a phone case for a phone they don't actually own.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to do the phone case, though. It's like, well, how are we going to figure this one out? Only the top of the line for the Backmarkers F1 Show fans.
That's fair.
That is great. I would want. Can we get that for here too?
Sure.
I want something.
Very special episode tonight. Not only is it the Imola Grand Prix recap, it is also Selection Day in America. That's right, folks.
Oh, yeah.
As we are recording this today, if you are listening to this, that means we have survived. We still have a world to wake up to, for now anyways. So, we'll, if this show just cuts out in the middle, then you know that it's all over and we're done.
Yeah.
But anyways, so very exciting night for us tonight. But anyways, we're only talking about the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
And no politics on this show unless it involves F1 politics.
That's right. Even then, it
happens a lot.
Yeah. We might have to do a complete separate election recap show later on.
Oh,
no, we won't. Actually, I'll never do
that. We can compare drivers.
That's it, yeah.
That might be, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Would be the best leader of the USA.
We already have a president in F1. Romain Grosjean is the president of the Drivers Association, whatever it's called.
President.
That's right. So Romain Grosjean is the president. So all about Romain.
I mean, I guess his complaints are never really heard, and he doesn't get to pass what he wants. So
yeah, it works out.
And he likes to complain a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that fills it. There we go.
Perfect. So we returned to the Imola circuit for the first time in what was it? 14 years almost. First race since 2006 that F1 returned here. A different weekend as well. It was a 2-day format. So we had the qualifying and practice just all on one day, just the one single practice session, and then obviously the race on Sunday. So what did you guys think of the circuit? I mean, I remember this track barely from my childhood days when they used to race here. Obviously, I remember like Alonso versus Schumacher here at this track. But I didn't really know much about this circuit. Obviously, the history of it, the tragic history, but also the positive history about it in terms of we've gotten some amazing battles around this track too. So maybe let's just start with some quick thoughts on the Imola circuit. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I remember playing it on video games as a kid, the F1 Career Challenge or whatever, that you had like 4 different years of
A long
F1 you could
time
play.
ago.
Yeah, it was, what was that, 2001 game? Yeah, I don't remember too much from the circuit. I don't think I watched too many races between 2000 and 2006 that at least that I can remember. The biggest thing I remember is Schumacher and Montoya's incident at turn 4.
Oh yeah.
That's like the one thing I remember there. No, I mean, it's a beautiful circuit, really nice flowing circuit. A lot like the older circuits we've seen on the calendar this year, where you're like, wow, would be a lot of fun to drive. I found the only difference between Imola and the other tracks we've had is that I don't know if I wanted this one back on the calendar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I want this one back on the calendar compared to Mugello, compared to Portimao, some of the new other older / newer / first time ones we've seen on the calendar this year. So yeah, but it is a beautiful track. I mean, it'd be a lot of fun to drive. I just don't know if it's suited for F1.
No, I kind of agree with you there. With the other circuits, we kind of noticed there was a little bit more of a challenge when the drivers raced on it as well. You know, they really enjoyed it, but I find you didn't hear that much feedback from this track as much, and like I find it was with a lot of race incidents that weren't like as much driver related as the other ones, you know, like the other tracks it was a head to head race that we had almost at every corner, from like the front of the race to the back. And I find this track just didn't provide it as much.
Yeah, I found the overtaking was a real struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, we really saw at the end of the race with Sergio Perez on brand new softs and couldn't carve through the field at all, really. And we saw it even with Max Verstappen stuck behind Valtteri Bottas for a long time. And the only time he could get by him was when Bottas made a massive error. So, not the greatest track for modern F1 cars. But if you're doing a hot lap or just a test session, I think it'd be, or some cool videos, YouTube videos that you're doing on there, I think it'd be a perfect track to do that on. But no, it just didn't. I don't think it fits modern F1 standards, unfortunately, because it is a beautiful track.
Yeah, I think those are fair points brought up. Yeah, I didn't mind it. I think I'd like to see it return. But I do think that maybe out of the new / old circuits that we've seen in 2020, it's probably last in terms of which one we'd go back to first, which is kind of a shame that this was probably one of the last times we'll see Imola for a while back in Formula One. But maybe like post 2022 with the new cars that hopefully will be easier to follow, they might come back to this circuit. But I agree. I think what we kind of saw when we talked about the Portimao circuit of moving the DRS zone further, you know, here we needed that Portimao DRS zone where it was moved a little bit further back.
Yeah.
So it would have been maybe an extra 10 or 20 meters or so, because we saw a couple of drivers not being able to get close enough, like you mentioned, Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo as well. Although we did see some overtakes there in turn 2 and 3, and then the Villeneuve chicane as well. But yeah, I completely agree with you. In terms of a hot lap or in terms of watching Formula One live there would be incredible. But racing, yeah, a little bit tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think those are fair thoughts. I mean, the problem was, like you meant, there was a couple of nice overtakes, Villeneuve chicane specifically. But it's funny you mentioned that DRS zone because, like you said, last week it was a little too easy to overtake.
Yeah.
And this week it's like, they made that adjustment and changed the DRS line, and it just didn't really work. So hopefully they get it right for Turkey. I guess they have. Well, did they have DRS when they raced to Turkey last?
I think 2011. So that was when DRS was first introduced. So I believe it was still on the calendar in 2011. So yeah, they would have experience. And that's a good point too. We never seen DRS around Imola. Obviously back in 2006 that didn't exist. So, and it's a problem again too. It's the first time that they've raced here with these modern cars. So it's a learning curve for them. Now, if F1 went back for a 3-day weekend, for example, and they had 3 full practice sessions, I got a feeling that the race might have been even a little bit more boring, because then some of the strategies would have been more predictable. Whereas now we saw a lot of the drivers on the soft tires. The degradation was fairly higher than expected, so they came in earlier. Lewis was able to extend, which we'll kind of get to a little bit later on. So with the more practice sessions, for example, maybe it'd be a little bit more predictable. But kind of the problem with modern F1, it's lack of overtaking, that type of thing. But anyways, it was a nice little slice of history to come back to. So it's kind of been a nice trend in 2020. But all right, getting into the race, I just wanted to maybe send a couple of quick shout outs on the first lap for Antonio Giovanazzi, who a driver we haven't talked too much about this season, but a driver that has made up the most places on lap 1 in 2020, and quite honestly has earned his place back at Alfa Romeo for 2021. So very good for him. Shot up from P20 to P14 on the opening lap, which was pretty incredible, and made some good headway there. Alfa Romeo eventually finished in double points, but what came a couple of corners later was the incident between Kevin Magnussen and Sebastian Vettel, which at the time we didn't know was actually a huge race incident because it ended up screwing up Valtteri Bottas's race later on.
What? And Ferrari didn't think there was any damage.
Of course, why would they?
Well, there was no debris left on the track because Valtteri had it in his car. So I mean, technically, it was still on a car. It just wasn't theirs.
But I love how they said that they were like, oh, like we see no damage, and we could see the photo here. Obviously, when you zoom in and blow it up, you could tell there's a massive chunk missing. So I don't know if they weren't getting the right camera angles at the time. I'd be surprised if the data wasn't showing the fact that there was a big aerodynamic loss.
I want to flash back to, I don't know if this was Ferrari, but I'm fairly certain it was Kimi Raikkonen with this incident. I think it was back in 2018 when he said, when Kimi asked if he had front wing damage, and they said no. They said, we can't tell. Can you check? And he's like, I can tell you I have front wing damage. So
Probably was. Sounds like a clown thing Ferrari would do, you know?
I don't know what they're doing, man.
And then Mercedes, because
even during the pit stop, like, how do you not? Like, did you hope they noticed during the pit stop?
I mean, I guess it wasn't worth the front wing change, but it's a huge part of the end plate. I mean, the whole right front end plate is pretty much missing.
Yeah.
That's I mean, and especially the Ferrari in terms of aerodynamic performance isn't all that strong to begin with. So
Let's be real, Ferrari needs everything they can get.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
They do.
That's true.
They really do.
And then Mercedes after the race, because I mean they're just dominating so much now that they're just having fun at everybody else's expense. They showed the piece of Ferrari front wing that was lodged into Bottas's barge board. This thing was massive.
That's huge.
No wonder Bottas was struggling so much. I really feel bad for Valtteri.
They're taking that part to scan it themselves. They're like, we'll keep this. Like, I wonder what's in the what's in the screw there.
I don't know.
Like, it's a front wing. What could be? Is that adjustments? Is that where they do the adjustments?
That's where they keep their pasta. That's it. But yeah, that was a massive piece. And he said he ran over it during lap 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so very early on in the race. And here you can see the photos of Mercedes taking out the piece there. So it was left front barge board there, and yeah, you could see the mechanics extricating that. I think this was during his first or second pit stop. I can't remember exactly, but I mean that's a massive piece to affect the aerodynamics. I think they were saying he was losing up to around 8 tenths per lap. And then obviously, but to be honest with you, he was driving really well to keep Max behind him. Probably the circuit characteristics helped, and then unfortunately made a mistake. But I will say, when we get back to just the circuit talk really quickly, those close gravel traps and the grass runoffs make the races a lot better. So the modern tracks need more of that because you pay for mistakes, which we saw obviously Bottas make. So I did enjoy that, but yeah, that's a massive piece of debris there.
Yeah, I've never seen these photos of them taking it out. I didn't realize they took it out. I thought they left it in. That's I mean, if you compare that, I mean, that's
Turn your computer.
Full half arm's length.
Yeah, it's huge. This is courtesy of racefans.net. If you guys want to check out the full article, they just go into some more details of the piece that was stuck there as well. And I think, yeah, Mercedes posted it on their Twitter and Instagram pages, kind of joking to Ferrari, like, hey, you guys want this back? Or
Probably not.
Probably not. Like, yeah, you can keep it.
Keep it as a souvenir of our shitty car.
Yeah.
Mounted on the wall at Brackley.
We won over Ferrari for our 8-time world champion.
Mercedes literally ran over Ferrari this year.
Yeah,
literally.
Seriously,
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Even that couldn't stop them.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then another Mercedes thing, which you were talking about before with Lewis Hamilton. I mean, just a nice early Christmas present for Hamilton. That virtual safety car, if I was wearing a tinfoil hat, I would say that Toto Wolff made a call to Esteban Ocon over the team radio and said, hey, pull over.
I kind of bought it. He just pulled over in like the perfect spot, you know?
I think his team radio was a little questionable too. Like, clutch problem. Clutch problem? There's no clutches in these cars. What are we talking about?
That was, I mean, like the luck. Like, and the fact that the VSC was so short, it was like short enough
Delta.
Just for Lewis to have his pit stop, and by the time he was leaving, the VSC was ending.
Was
I was
over,
like,
yeah.
Come on, like, what are the chances? He was the only one that gets to pit during that time.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, it was just
after
wild.
extending his stint too,
Because
and get the perfect, get exactly what you need to keep going.
Because I think it was Vettel, Raikkonen, and Latifi who hadn't stopped yet, and I was like, "Ooh, this could be spicy for them. Like maybe
Latifi on for a podium.
It could have been." And then I looked back up, and the VSC was ending. I was like, "What? Was that quick?
Like right as he entered, and then as soon as he exited.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, you make your own
luck. He was gonna
luck.
win anyways, well, whatever. But
Yeah. Well, that's why when I was watching it, I wasn't even mad. I was just like, yeah. I mean, what else? I just expect him to win every race pretty much from now on.
It's great. I mean, if you're such a good driver that you can do it every single time, that's impressive as hell. But yeah, it's
too bad. I was hoping other cars would have pit.
Yeah. It was just so short, though.
Yeah,
it was like
just way too short.
just enough for him to get in and get out, and that was it. And
yeah, it's not like I want to see Lewis do worse. I just want to see everybody else do better.
Well, yeah, you want to bring everybody to an even playing field.
Yeah.
It's just too much right now. It was that 93rd win, right? So
93rd, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, luck has to be on your side too. I mean, that's just perfect luck. Bottas gets damage. I mean, he's sitting third place, and Bottas gets damage, and Max crashes out of the race.
yeah,
I know that it didn't have the Max crashing out didn't have anything to do with Lewis's finishing position, but just the fact that you have, the two rivals, that it's a hard track to pass at. You're sitting third, and everything falls into your lap, and you're like, well, easy day at the office.
yeah.
I had this around my finger the whole time.
He easily extended the stint too, like no problem.
Yeah.
Well, he just didn't give them a chance to say anything. It was literally like, I'm extending my stint. Don't stop me.
Yeah, which is bullcrap because last week Valtteri Bottas wanted to switch onto the soft tires and make a challenge, switch strategies so he could make a challenge for Lewis. And Mercedes said, no, Valtteri, no. We're not that kind of team. We treat our drivers the same, and both of you are going to stay on the same strategy so you get the hard tires. Fast forward to this week, Valtteri stops, gets the hard tires put on. Lewis Hamilton calls in. No. This isn't how this team works. I get the preferred strategy, and I'm staying out. I don't care what you say. And Mercedes, not like what Valtteri did, because Valtteri suggested, hey, I want softs, and he said no. Mercedes could have said, no, Lewis, that's not how this team works. We treat our drivers equally, and you're going to be pitting next lap to go onto the hard tires, while Valtteri, so you guys are on the same strategy. No, they let him stay out. They let him extend his stint, and Valtteri got shafted by that, and I think it's bullcrap.
Are you surprised?
Well, I think
Double standards.
I think there's a difference of 6 world championships versus no world championships, though.
Well, I know, but that's not the point.
Small details, man.
It's not the point, Shaker.
I'm just
Anyways.
trying to play devil's advocate.
No, I know. But it's just frustrating. You're like, just treat them both the same. And I know they could. And then I was thinking, they're gonna blame it on Valtteri having damage. Anyways, the whole thing.
I know.
That's my rant. Continue on. It annoyed me during the race.
Yeah, the team's not equal though, but that's okay. If Lewis Hamilton won't even be around F1 next year, right?
Maybe,
So-
yeah. Which it would be a shame.
Would it? No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
it would. It really would. But I wonder if it maybe takes like a year off and then comes back for 2022 cars. Like, I don't know. Like, does he not want to? Like, maybe he doesn't want to win 8 championships and surpass Michael. Maybe he just wants to be an equal or have that debate. I don't know. Maybe he's getting bored. Wouldn't blame him if he's getting bored.
It's possible.
I think the issue is because no matter how many world championships he gets in this era, I don't think anyone's going to say that he's comparable or, the best driver with those 8 world
You don't think?
championships. I don't think so.
Really? No. I don't know. I already think he's at 6. I mean, he's going to be at 7 soon, and I think he's up there for debate. I think he's in top 3,
I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's not up there.
and I think he could be the greatest of all time.
I just don't think it's not going to be, how people say Michael Schumacher is the best. He is Michael Jordan is the best.
Right.
No one is going to be, not every other person is going to be like Lewis Hamilton was and is the number one F1 driver, is what I'm saying.
That's fair.
You could definitely make a debate for it. That is basically what I'm getting at.
Okay. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I think it's more like it's just maybe heat of the moment or whatever, but I don't see why you wouldn't do another year.
Yeah.
They're going to have the best car again. Maybe Red Bull will be closer, hopefully, but they won't be that close that they're going to be that much better.
Mm-hmm.
So why not? I mean, it's your championship to lose effectively next year. We know that Valtteri's been at Mercedes now for almost 5 years, hasn't been able to crack the code that is Lewis Hamilton. With everything you just talked about with the equality between the teammates and the strategies, it's not going to be easy for Bottas anyway. So could just be like a negotiating bargain for his contract renewal. There's also all these things of like the new budget cap and everything that I think driver salaries combined have to be $30 million together.
Oh, I didn't read
and I
that.
mean, Lewis Hamilton's contract is like reported over 40 million euros, I think, or dollars. I'm not exactly sure which currency, but it's a lot. He's the highest paid driver in Formula One by quite some margin. So maybe that's another part of it. Obviously, he's got his new Extreme E racing team that he's launching. But I would see that he probably does next year, and then maybe after that calls it a career, or who knows? I don't know. I think he'll be there next year, though.
I think so too. I think he should.
Here's my
be.
tinfoil hat.
Uh-oh.
I think he's taking on Max Verstappen's challenge of being in the same car. So I think he leaves for a year, and Max goes in that seat, and then he comes back, and him and Max are racing each other in the same
2022?
vehicle in 2022.
Why doesn't Lewis just join Red Bull right now? They could
Why
race
would
the
you
same
want to
car.
go in a car that's gonna
To prove?
Yeah.
No, but you could to prove that it's not just the car.
Because
and then
then
go win world
true.
championship.
Then it's not a matter of who's the best in the number one car. It just becomes
Yeah. If
I
George Russell
think-
goes to Mercedes.
I also still think that Mercedes is that much better than every car that, like Bottas on his own could probably still win the championship.
I think so too.
Maybe.
Just because the car is just that good. I mean, it's
But if you have Lewis, I mean, we see Lewis, we see Max challenging the Mercedes half decently, right? During most of the races, you have Lewis and Max in there. I don't know.
because I think with him going with them challenging at Mercedes, it's more of a fair trade, more of a fair who's better, because they're always going to be in 1 and 2 every time. They're going to be more head to head. Where if you put them in 2 Red Bull cars, there's a chance that one of them gets last place. Shots fired.
Wow. Poor Alex.
I'm sorry, Alex.
Poor Alex.
I'm sorry, man.
Should we talk about Alex?
yeah. I think
That was actually just my transition
Oh,
leading
fair.
into Red Bull.
well, yeah. I think we wrapped up the Mercedes talk. I just to close that, I just would love to see them in like somewhat equal machinery going against each other.
It would be cool.
Because which to your point, Shaker, when you were saying that most people weren't going to consider Hamilton the greatest ever, it's because they need to see him against
Yeah, I mean,
know what?
we've seen
Him and Ross.
Yeah.
If this was
Yeah.
5 years of him versus Rosberg,
I think, absolutely. I think it would be different.
that's a stretch. Because Nico Rosberg, I like him, but Nico Rosberg wasn't at the Alonso level or the Hakkinen level or the Sebastian Vettel level. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think he could have been.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
I
don't
think his
so.
driving style was a little bit different compared to those guys.
He was a great driver,
Yeah.
but I think that when we compare, like if you look, Schumacher had the Alonso to contend with, the Hakkinens to contend with.
He's better than Valtteri.
Yeah, by a long shot for sure. This would be completely different last couple of years if Rosberg was still in the sport. But I think that Lewis just needs that really, that young up and comer driver, whether it's a Leclerc or it's you okay there?
The damn fruit fly.
Yeah, I was getting so sick of that. Sorry.
There's a fruit fly flying around. It's really bothering us.
It's gone now.
Yeah. Just like Alex Albon's Red Bull
Oh
career.
no.
But anyways,
Just another fly on the wall.
Yeah. So I just think that he needs that really good head-to-head rivalry with maybe a young gun like Verstappen to solidify it. But I just want to see it just because it would be extremely entertaining.
Yeah, I think it would be entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we've tried to do that segue a couple times now, but let's get into it. Let's talk about Alex Albon.
Who are we talking about? No.
Yeah. Well, the reason why this is such a big story, because obviously I think it was heading into the Portuguese Grand Prix, Christian Horner gave the interview saying that, the next couple races, Alex is it's his seat to lose, and that they're going to make a choice within the next couple races. I believe that it was up until Turkey.
Sorry, I think the wording should be it's Nico's seat to gain.
Or Sergio's.
Sergio would be good.
Yeah,
Sergio would be good too.
But now I think, Tyler, you were saying that they're going to give him to the last lap in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I think that's what I didn't read I didn't see the quote. I didn't watch the video.
I don't need to the last lap. He's gone. He's gone. The Daniel Kvyat did better than every single Red Bull on the track. Every single Red Bull.
That's true.
And
there's
Pierre
only one Red
Gasly,
Bull left.
Yeah.
Technically, I guess.
And Pierre Gasly has outperformed him all season.
Yeah. He out-qualified him.
If your B team is better than your second driver,
I don't know if it's a B team anymore.
Yeah, sorry, it's not B team anymore.
Yeah,
So
like
they're up there.
Sister team.
Sister team.
Yeah.
They have their own name.
Their own fashion.
Their own fashion line.
Damn.
Red Bull doesn't have that.
But
They do. It's just really shitty.
yeah, no, I did read something on Twitter saying that Horner said that he's going to give Albon to the last lap of the last Grand Prix to keep his seat. So I guess they're just
That to
extending
me
it.
tells me that Albon's staying for 21.
That's what I think too.
And again, the reason why is because of the 51% tie ownership of Red Bull. That to me is why they don't want to. Because at this point, man, like he's had his opportunities, and it's costing Red Bull too much. And I wrote about this in the takeaways article from this race too. That we like Albon. He's a great driver.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be really out of F1, but it's just he's not ready for this seat yet, man. And he's been given over a year now, and he's not making any gains on Verstappen.
Like, look how much Pierre Gasly grew this year alone, just being in that
Right.
AlphaTauri. And like, I really think Albon can do the exact same thing next year.
Yeah.
I really, really think that. And I think it'd be a great partnership to have him and Gasly together at AlphaTauri.
Well, think back to when he started his career at Toro Rosso, how great he was, which is
doing
why he got
amazing.
the seat.
Yeah.
So now imagine another year like that, where exactly like you said, Tyler, he can develop like Gasly did. Look at the standings. I'm looking at it right now. 9th place in the driver's standing. Alex Albon, 64 points. Who's right behind him in 10th? Pierre Gasly at 63 points in the junior car, B team car, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and then again, you compare him versus his teammate.
Sergio Perez is in 6th, and he missed 2 races.
Yeah.
One race. Two.
Two. Two races.
It was 2
That's
races.
right. You're correct.
I mean, Nico Hulkenberg's better than like 6 other drivers.
That is
only
true.
raced too.
Yeah. And then you look at the gap between his teammate, Max Verstappen, obviously 162 points. So
98-point gap.
huge gap, obviously. And
I mean, if you put Ricciardo and who's in 4th and Albon together, it still wouldn't reach Max.
and that's the fact of the matter is again, when you look at Renault, okay, Renault have somewhat of a bigger budget, but McLaren are ahead, Racing Point are ahead. Remember back to Ricciardo and Verstappen days where they were slotting in the top 6 of that championship, whether ahead of maybe a Ferrari or behind a Ferrari, but they were there. So I just think that it's time, and this race in particular was it was poor for Alex Albon, man. Qualifying wasn't good. Yes, it was only a 10th in it, but still, he was well off the pace from Max Verstappen, was behind a Renault, was behind obviously Pierre Gasly as well. And then in the race, just cold tires at the end. He thought he had contact. Obviously, when you watch the video, there was no contact, just cold tires, too jumpy on the throttle, and just spun it. That was it.
Yeah, unfortunate for Alex. I mean, I feel bad for him because it seems like everything's just going his way this year. When things like that happen.
Yeah.
But like I said, he like you said, like I think we said this. He deserves a seat. It's just another year of development would be really, really good for him. I think, and it's just like when he spun around, I was like, no, like the poor guy. Like, it's the same when I felt when Russell spun. I was like, no, it's just like, the poor kid. Like he doesn't deserve this. I don't know.
I believe he'll have a seat next year, but I don't think it's going to be at Red Bull. Really,
I don't. The longer this goes on, the more and more I lean toward it's going to Red Bull.
I think Christian Horner said it best in his season 2 when they went to his house. Red Bull doesn't need to be in this sport.
Well, that's true.
They might not be.
That's
soon.
also true.
Red Bull does not need to be in this sport. They have so much money.
Yeah.
They're only here for marketing and publicity.
Yeah.
So that 50 to 51% Thai ownership, could mean jack shit next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awful if we lost Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like
It would be. I'm not
start
saying-
ruining the sport of it, like just because they bring a lot of money into the sport. One, but two, like that's a major team off the grid. Like, what are you gonna
They
do
won
after
4
that?
championships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that'd be awful. Then we're down to 18 cars, and we're in the even worse situation.
Well, I don't like the direction that F1 is going in that sense, and also that we're seeing more drivers being put into seats because of financial backing. And I know we've had this discussion a million times on this podcast about the Strolls and the Latifis of the world.
Mazepin.
Yeah, Mazepin. But the thing is like Mazepin, he
It's
hasn't
not
earned.
just Canadians.
Right,
We're not all
right,
rich.
yeah. We're not, that's for sure. We do not fall into that bracket just yet.
I'd buy an F1 team if I could.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'd be racing an F1 if I could.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy like a yacht or anything like that. It would be F1 car.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But that's the problem, right? It's just the expense needed for the sport that we go that way. But then we lose these drivers and we lose these teams. But I don't like what's Red Bull doing either, because apparently Kvyat is out as well and Tsunoda's in. Which if Honda's leaving
Wait,
in
what?
21,
Yeah, Honda's putting Tsunoda in apparently,
yeah, Helmut Marko all but confirmed it.
which means that Alex would have to stay at Red Bull.
Yeah. That's why to me I'm like I unless he's dropped out of F1, which would be a huge shock for me. To me, I think he's staying.
Tsunoda
at Red
is
Bull.
not ready for F1, by the way.
No.
Like, not at all.
And-
I was watching his F2. I watch a lot of F2. He's barely ready for F2 this year. It's like he's a very good driver, but he's very inconsistent. He's a lot of learning to do, and he's going to be a really good driver one day. But he needs at least 1 day, if not 2 more years.
Well,
In F2.
I completely agree. And we talked about how Schumacher, hopefully and most likely, will win the F2 championship this year, which will propel him into F1. But even him could use another year of F2 would be beneficial to him and the likes of Schwartzman and Mazepin as well.
Yeah.
But Tsunoda he's not at that level yet. And
No.
I think putting him in at AlphaTauri, man, I don't like that move because
Well, Honda's going to be here for 1 year. So what? You put him in for 1 year and you say, okay, 1 year wonder, here you go.
exactly.
Haas has all but confirmed Mick Schumacher for next year, haven't they? And then the other guy.
Yes.
For the most part,
For the
I think
most part,
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was like one of those unreleased things that came out that they've all but confirmed it, but it hasn't
Yeah.
been put out in public.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like, unless it's some massive like change of events that happens, but I think it's going to be Schumacher and Mazepin there. But yeah, it's like you said. So, are they going to keep him past 2022? And we look at Daniel Kvyat. He's had a quiet year. He's had some bad luck. Pierre Gasly is the problem. That's the problem right now, is that he's done so well this year that he's cast a massive shadow over Kvyat. But I think Kvyat has done a lot to improve himself since he returned to F1. A great drive here. I thought that he was decisive. His overtake on Leclerc was fantastic. The move of the race for me. And I think keeping him there, if you're not going to move Albon away from Red Bull, would be the right choice. But to put Tsunoda in there, man, I don't know. It's a kind of a head scratcher to me with Red Bull, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I if you're gonna get rid of Daniel Kvyat, who is a proven F1 driver, bring somebody young in, man. Like Daniel Kvyat deserves that seat. He did exactly what he needed to,
Yeah.
and we know that
I think
him
we've all
and
figured out. I don't think Daniel Kvyat's coming back next year.
yeah, I know.
No, I think that would be
I
it for
think
his
he's-
F1
Yeah.
career.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
you can't
It'd
come
be interesting
back.
where he goes though.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, he could go into sort of a reserve driver role. Not sure if he was going to go into sports cars or anything like that, but it's a shame. But I just think when you look at, for example, Ferrari's driver program, they got a lot of talent coming through, and they seem to be a little bit more concrete into the plan of what they want to do for the future. Obviously, bring in like Leclerc, Giovanazzi's on the grid.
Yeah,
And the Red Bull Junior program, which was always sort of the big talking point in F1, has kind of just fallen short in the last couple of years. So I think it's time for Red Bull to look outside of the...
has it though?
Well, I mean, Max Verstappen obviously has been great.
And like Pierre Gasly's resurgence this year.
Right, but when you look at the promotion to the senior team, that hasn't worked out at all, with the exception
No.
of Verstappen.
Well, there's Carlos Sainz technically. I know he didn't stay in the Red Bull program.
True, yeah.
But there's Carlos Sainz. I mean, technically Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, Ricardo too.
I mean, half the grid is Red Bull guys.
or former, yeah. Well, and you look, the last driver to be outside of the junior program was obviously Mark Webber, and he did incredibly well against Sebastian Vettel. So
I thought you were about to say Sebastian Vettel. I'm like, oh, he did not do incredibly well.
Not against Ricciardo, he did. Yeah. So I don't know. It's will be remain to see. I'm interested to see what you guys have to think in terms of what's going to happen to Albon. But I just think that ever since Mugello, we've been kind of talking about this, like, okay, like next race he's going to need to do better, and then it's the next race, and then it just keeps getting progressively worse and worse. And this, to me, was just sort of the final straw in his Red Bull career. But I got that feeling that he might be around next year in that same Red Bull seat.
Yeah, let us know in your comments below. Maybe we should do a driver, if we should do a driver prediction video, or our 2021 prediction, or we each give our lineup for what we think it's going to be for next year.
Yeah, how many seats are left? Like
6
3,
or
4?
7, I thought.
Oh yeah, that much?
Well, I guess unconfirmed.
Yeah.
I mean, up for debate, and maybe
Right.
3 for 4.
To be honest, I think that both those Red Bull seats are both up in the air until Lewis is confirmed at Mercedes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think you have to.
Maybe it could be a Perez Hulkenberg Red Bull lineup.
You never.
Yeah.
It's just until Lewis confirms what he's doing next year. I think that leaving that Mercedes seat up in the air opens the door for so many drivers to take it.
I hope Hulkenberg wins the championship. He's just
Could you imagine?
That'd be
He's
awesome.
German.
He is German.
It'd be worth the weight of like 200 Grand Prix or whatever with that podium, right? And then next thing you know, it's just all at the same time.
That'd be amazing. Oh, that's just a walk off 1 year, and then just call it do a Rosberg. It's enough for me. It's enough for me.
Then start a YouTube
I got my
channel.
first podium. I got my first
Championship.
Yeah.
I got everything I need.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Peace.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Couple more points before we wrap up this episode. You just mentioned George Russell, and we do have to talk about this incident. Marcus Ericsson once again hit George Russell from behind and flattened him right into the wall.
He keeps causing incidents under safety cars.
It's
brutal.
ridiculous.
He's not even in the same country, same continent. He's over in America.
How funny! We played this before we got on the show, but was Kimi's team radio?
Oh my god!
You know, he's just pulling up.
Williams is off.
The Williams just went up.
His race engineer's like, "Oh, great! That's an easy pass. Like, well done, Kimi." Yeah, I agree with you, Tyler. Man, I really felt bad for him.
And he was sitting on the walls, just so disappointed with himself. And I was like, George, I feel you. I want to be there. I just want to put my arm around you. Just be like, it's going to be okay. You got your seat for next year. It's going to be okay. And I felt awful for George. I mean, poor guy. Doesn't deserve this.
I mean, not to add insult to injury, but I mean, the internet always delivers.
Yes, it does.
And this was unfortunately made from the compilation of other drivers that have had some similar moments. But
drivers and crew members.
Yeah,
Poor Racing Point guy that got sent by Lance.
yeah. Lance Stroll sent him into orbit.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, brakes were cold.
Yeah, brakes were cold. It's like, whoops. I was funny. I was pointing this out. I didn't notice the marshal was holding the soccer ball there.
Yeah, that is great.
But he's just like, dude, leave him alone, man. He wanted to cut some time alone.
Yeah, that Marshall did not understand that. Like, Russell wanted none of them. He was like, no, stay away from me. Like, just let me just sulk for a minute. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's unfortunate, man. I mean, I think he would have been on for maybe a point.
I think so.
In that situation. And unfortunately, you know what I think that was, though? I think that's the Fernando Alonso curse. Alonso was there that weekend, and he said that out of all the young drivers on the grid, George Russell was like his pick for the most impressive.
I would agree with him.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think he's a great judge of character in terms of drivers, but just could be the Alonso curse.
Could be. Hey, George Russell, Renault 2021? 2022, sorry?
2020. Yeah, 2022. No, they said Pierre Gasly maybe Renault 2022.
Oh, yeah?
Who has the second Renault seat right now?
Well, that would make sense.
Ocon.
I thought they didn't confirm that.
No, he's confirmed,
Confirmed.
next year. He signed a 2-year deal, I believe, with Renault.
Just get this guy off the grid.
What's wrong with Ocon?
I don't like Ocon.
He's
Oh
the
yeah,
first
you don't
one.
like Ocon. You got personal hate with Ocon. That's right. I'm an Ocon guy. I like Ocon.
I do think that 2021 will have to be sort of a make or break year for him,
Yeah,
which is going to be tough. Tough year against Fernando, but
or it could be career defining year.
could be absolutely.
If he beats Alonso, could be career defining.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to point this out because this came. I sent this to you guys, and I was going to save it for the show. I believe this was after one of the first safety car incidents when the VSC deployed when Lewis Hamilton came in because of the debris. But the marshals ran right onto the track while they were at full racing speed. This was before the VSC came out in the yellow flags. This is Stroll coming around.
Whoa!
And the marshal.
Whoa!
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
This is slowed down now just a little bit.
Died.
Just cleaning up
It's
the
not
track.
those guys I'm worried about. It's this guy.
So you can see the yellow flag sort of coming at the end, but Stroll was full throttle, and this was the onboard to Vettel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, these guys are.
Oh, dude. That's so dangerous.
Because even you'll see, I think they did a Grosjean onboard and then Latifi at the end. They were slowing down by the time they got around. Even that, it's quick. Like,
It was more Stroll the first one where like it just came out and they were already on the track where he was like, whoa.
Yeah, this is from Latifi's point of view. So they've already slowed down, which is still pretty fast.
Just saying, this looks the whole, Lewis Hamilton tinfoil hat thing just a little bit more suspicious.
They sent the marshals out.
Yeah, at this point, is that Raikkonen or Giovannazi?
This is Raikkonen.
Crazy slow. He's like, whoa, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first one was probably the scariest too. Can you replay that Lance one?
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to see that again. Like he came flying around there, and all these the yellows are. There's no VSC though, is there?
I think just yellow flags. Yeah.
I think just yellows.
But he's booking it. I think VSC was there. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Well, he still wasn't slowing down.
Is the marshal even looking?
Fair. No.
He's looking the complete opposite way.
He's brooming. That's what he's doing.
He's brooming.
Oh, yeah, that's close.
That
and Imola's a narrow circuit too.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's a lot that kind of you get to see after the race that we don't get on the broadcast. So, yeah, that was one. The only other thing I had, we were just segueing, I guess, from George Russell. If Russell's considered Mr. Saturday, I think we got to start calling Latifi Mr. P11.
That's right, Mr.
What is that, like third P11 of the year?
Yeah, he's in close so many times to points, and yeah, another tough one. I was like, I was just the Canadian in me cheering for Nicholas. I was like, come on, someone also retire, just have a small problem.
Yeah,
but no, didn't happen. I was hoping he'd get points. He had a good race. I mean, he finished ahead of a lot of good drivers. So beautiful overtake on. Oh, you were just saying that. Beautiful overtake on Grosjean there, and
his new best friend.
That's right. Grosjean complaining again. I'm okay with it though. Grosjean only has a few races left. He can complain all he wants.
Death, taxes, and Romain Grosjean complaining about fair racing moves.
Yeah, I don't know. It was great. I just got. I'm gonna miss a lot of the mate.
It was clean. I mean, it's clean racing. You could see it. It's just they went side to side. I think they touched just slightly, but Latifi was defending his position well, and I thought he had a good race. I mean, obviously he was within a second of Giovannazi at the end, and Williams just doesn't have that pace just at the moment. But I was hoping that, because I think the Grosjean at the end of the race got a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah.
And so I saw the time penalty pop up first. I'm like, oh, who is it? And then it said Grosjean. I'm like, damn it.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So hopefully Williams could at least get 1 point this year. But I think Latifi, a good solid race after a really tough outing in Portugal.
I think Williams' best chance will be at the shortened Bahrain circuit because it's a lot of straights and they're pretty slippy in a straight line.
Yeah.
The Williams. So I could see them having a good shot there if they're going to have any shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. And just last honorable mention, Kimi Raikkonen, P18 to P9. The old guy has been really having some good races.
He's killing it. For someone who's doing this just for a hobby. I mean, like last race, he killed it. He's like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah.
They go from P20 to like P4.
But I loved him showing that to his son when he posted on social media. Him showing look, this is me. I kicked everybody's ass.
I'm the best ever. You know what? I've got a thing where if he was in the same seat as Valtteri Bottas, I think he would have won another world championship.
Oh, I think so too. Absolutely.
But anyways, well, it's a debate for another day, I guess.
I think he also would not have taken any of Lewis's shit too, or any of the team shit. So he would have just had his own race.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah. But no, another fantastic performance by the Iceman. I mean, he's killing it. He's still got it. So I'm happy you signed on for another year. Another year, Kimi. You got Kimi and Alonso on the grid again.
Yeah,
together.
What year is it again?
It's 2006. We're back at Imola.
That's right.
Oh my god, what's going on? That's gonna be a lot of fun to see him back next year. I want to give a quick shout out Kevin Magnussen.
Good
because he did retire And I think the team brought him in. He had migraines because of the upshifts. I mean, that must have been brutal. His head banging against. Oh, sounds awful. And he was like, no, it's my job. I'm just telling you that I'm in pain. I presume if the lap times weren't amazing. And he's like, and they said, oh, do you want to retire? And he's like, no, it's my job. I'm going to stay out here. And eventually, I think Haas called him in, being like, no, Kevin, like, we're not going to get points. Just come in and saving Kevin from himself there. But massive respect for Kevin. That's what drivers are meant to be. They're not meant to have no fear. It's their job. And he said that. He's like, I don't care if I in the Drive to Survives, he was like, I don't care if I die, or
I'm not surprised.
or something like that, right? So, massive respect for Kevin. Too bad about his migraine. Hopefully he gets some points at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And almost forgot before we wrap up to talk about Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh yeah, he got
He got a
I was
podium.
just about to say, is this our last thing? Because I'm looking at the standings right now, and we need to talk about this.
Oh yeah. By the
Totally
way,
slipped my mind. See, it's becoming such a regular occurrence now. It's
right, 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3 races. But the Honey Badger brought out the double shoey, and Lewis Hamilton of all people
asked for one.
Yeah,
It's not even like he was forced. He asked for. That was amazing.
yeah. Good on Lewis, man.
Loved it. I loved it. I watched the video later, and
I
was
watched
like,
it a few times. I have mad respect for Lewis Hamilton.
This is good. Lewis did like a full, and I thought Lewis did it out of his own shoe. No, he did it out of
No.
Daniel's
Yep.
shoe.
Yeah.
And guys, if you didn't know, a shoey a day keeps the COVID away.
Yep.
So
Well,
that's all you
true.
got to
It's
do.
COVID safe.
Yeah,
There's a lot of bacteria in there that will help your immune system.
good bacteria. It's good for your gut biome.
That's
I mean,
right.
he's from Australia, right? There's a lot of things that kill you down there, so he's probably safe.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he's probably got like anti-venom in his sweat.
Daniel's
and everything.
fine.
Fine.
Yeah,
But I like how Lewis even did the little like,
Yeah.
I also love that he was about to like toss it, then he's like, "Oh no, this is champagne.
Yeah.
I gotta pour it on him." Like,
yeah. I'm sure that's probably the only time I'd ever drink out of a shoe is if I'm on an F1 podium. Other than that,
me too.
don't think I'll do
Me
it.
too. Me too. But no, that was awesome to see Danny Rick with a great drive. Lucked in because Sergio Perez pitted. Really bad call by Racing Point. I wasn't sure about that one. When I saw everyone else stay out, I was like, ooh, that doesn't look good. But right strategy call by Renault. Kept Danny Rick out there, knew how it was hard to pass, and came up with a podium. A great drive by him, but good strategy call by Renault as well.
what?
Yeah, 2 and 3. It's awesome.
I shot him from 7th place to 4th.
Third.
Standings.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, and his driver standings. Sorry.
Yeah, he's right there now. Renault, I mean, I think they're 1 point ahead in the constructor standings, but nonetheless, still in third place.
The constructor standings are tight.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
Tight. 3, 4, 5,
are
and
really
6. I
tight.
think. There's 4 of them fighting. They're all like within 1 point of each other.
Well, and Ricardo's flying the flag alone for Renault nowadays.
Well,
Pretty much.
McLaren and Racing Point are tied at
For-
134.
For 4th.
For 4th, yeah, and then Renault ahead with 135.
Yeah. Oh, I thought Ferrari had more than 103. Yikes! Never mind.
Ferrari's just hot trash.
I thought they were 133, and I was like, man, this is crazy close. But no, they're
Do you
103.
see this difference right now?
Yeah, they're 103. AlphaTauri might pass them.
Maybe.
14 points separating AlphaTauri and Ferrari.
Yeah.
Well, can we make a special mention as well to the wonderful pit stop that Ferrari gave to Sebastian Vettel?
Oh my God, what are they doing?
Vettel was possibly on actually for a points finish, maybe an 8th, maybe a 9th, maybe even more.
Maybe
Who knows?
more. I think he could have been on for more because at the end, Perez would have pit and he would have been behind.
Yeah,
Vettel.
that's
Like he
true.
could have been out for more. He could have been out for 6th or 6th. Let's say 6th.
Yeah. And not only did they botch one tire, they botched 2 tires and made a 13-second pit stop. And then the worst thing is when you see Vettel just rejoining the track and you just go, car passing him, car
Yeah.
passing him, car passing him, and then you see the Williams, and then it's like, even finished ahead of the Williams. Latifi finished ahead of
did.
Vettel in the race.
At least he did finish
He
that
was
Vettel.
P5 at one point.
Yeah. I mean, I
Ridiculous.
think Ferrari's out there. They just don't care about this year, and they're out there to screw Vettel, which
Well-
for no reason.
Yeah.
But like, it just seems everything's bad's happening to Vettel for no reason.
Yeah, I think it just got worse after he did announce that he was going to Racing Point.
Yeah.
I think it just got worse from there.
Like, it's like Vettel will crash into the wall and they'll be like, tire data looking fine.
Yeah, no
Like,
damage. I don't
looks
see any.
fine on TV.
Can you drive it back to the? No.
Guys, I have a brake failure. Okay, stop the car.
Yeah,
stop the car.
Stop the car.
What?
We got no brakes. We just
Oh my
crash
God.
into a wall here.
Yeah, jeez, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor.
It's
Seb.
almost over. Don't worry, Seb. Brighter days ahead.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap up this episode, we wanted to have a little bit of a debate, or maybe not so much of a debate, but just kind of an idea that we had for a separate video that we'll include here. And it's a driver of the year debate. Now, obviously, we're coming to the end of this truncated F1 season, only 4 races to go.
I mean, yeah, the constructors have won. You know, we already have a
Drivers, yeah.
we already have a. I mean, Lewis is winning this year.
Yeah, we already know that. We've got enough data, I think, to look at to make our decision. So we're each just kind of give our own opinions as to who is the driver of the year. We're not really going to go off of any concrete format, doing the fancy F1 driver rating type
No,
things.
it's just a feeling, guys.
Yeah, this is. It's just a gut feeling that we're going to go with. We're voicing our opinions with our hearts today. So I guess I'll start off the debate and the roundtable, get it going. And I say that my driver of the year hasn't been unchanged since going back a couple of races now, and that's Pierre Gasly. And if you guys remember back actually to quite a few podcasts now ago, before the Italian Grand Prix, I had said that Pierre Gasly was arguably the driver of the year, and I actually got some heat on that from the YouTube comments.
I agreed with you there.
Yeah. And lo and behold, I think 2 races later, he went out and won in Monza, which was amazing.
Yeah.
So, but I think that Pierre Gasly's just driven incredibly well this year. And before even his win, he was putting in consistent top 10 performances, getting into Q3, and extracting the most out of that AlphaTauri versus his teammate who hasn't been able to do that just yet. And then obviously it all just came to a head in Monza when he did just an amazing race. Mm-hmm. He's shown that he can handle the pressure. He's shown that he can deliver under these circumstances. Unfortunate in this race that he had to retire because I think that he would have been on for a top 5 finish as well. So I think that he's just rejuvenated and reinvented himself at AlphaTauri and has become a Grand Prix winner and has become a team leader there at AlphaTauri, so much so that AlphaTauri want him in that team. Mm-hmm. And obviously we kind of want him at a bigger team to be able to fight more, but
he's getting wins. Or
exactly.
A win.
Same amount of win as Verstappen, right? So for me, Gasly has been the driver of the year.
Yeah, Max just has one win.
Yeah, only one win.
Yeah.
They're equal. Oh. Right? So that's why he's driver of the year, guys. Driver of the
only
year.
in Austria, right? Did Max win?
Silverstone.
Silverstone.
Yeah, second race, or I think it was the second race at Silverstone. Yeah. So yeah, that's my vote for driver of the year. I think the whole 19 months that he's had, dating back to when he got demoted to now, is just amazing. And not just his win, but everything. When you look at the small details of his driving and how well he's leading that team. So Pierre Gasly, my vote for 2020 driver of the year.
Do you want to go or me?
You can go.
Okay, very good. I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think any of us disagree with
No.
either of our opinions.
We
but
know what our actually. I don't know what I think Tyler said he was going to pick somebody different.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
because I did say Gasly as my driver of the year. I think that's the obvious choice, and I think that's why you
I
said
chose
the same
somebody.
thing.
Yeah.
Just for the
I don't disagree with any of our picks.
Yeah,
I think
just for
they're-
the debate purposes.
Yeah, just for debate purposes, we have different people.
My driver of the year would happen to be the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman. I got it in that camera too.
Max
we got
I thought this was a McLaren hat. and
me
I'm
too.
like, who the fuck are you picking right now?
I thought he was reaching for the Alonso mug first. I was,
Same, and I'm like, he's not even here, man.
Driver of the year. Didn't do anything wrong. Max Verstappen. Yeah, Max Verstappen is my driver of the year. I think he's provided us the most entertainment this season. He's provided us the knowledge on how much better he is than a normal F1 driver compared to Alex Albon, and how much of a talent that he actually has. To see the difference between those two cars, I think, is really outstanding, and shows a lot to the talent that Max Verstappen has. And he's only 22 years old.
23 now.
23 now? Oh, so he just had his birthday?
Yeah, October.
That's ridiculous. I mean, when did Lewis break into F1 at 21?
21?
22?
Yeah, 21, yeah.
So, I mean, he's not that far off of where Lewis was at his age. So he's got a long ways to go in this sport, and I think he's the second best driver on the grid in terms of talent. Behind Lewis?
behind Roman Grosjean. Oh
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Grosjean. But he's my driver of the year. He's given us the most entertainment, as I mentioned, and I think that he would, if it wasn't for Max Verstappen, the season would really, really be rough. But he's Thank God for Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
as title for one of our videos, one of our past videos. Thank God for Max Verstappen.
If I didn't choose Max Verstappen last year, I would have chosen Max this year. But great choice.
Thank you.
Like you said, he's provided us some great entertainment this year. From the very beginning, if it was, it was either team radios in practice, in the race, there was nothing left unturned in terms of entertainment for Max. We'll see how the Mongol government treats it.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
You mean the UN?
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yo, watch they turn up to Turkey and the UN envoy is waiting for Max Verstappen at the paddock entry.
I really wanted to not say anything with that meme
We
I
had
showed you
to.
earlier. I was still thinking about it.
For those,
Max.
sorry to cut off you for Shaker, but we just have to talk about this. I was reading this morning, scrolling through F1 Twitter just to get caught up for tonight, and I see this headline from the race fans, and I got to read it word for word because, like I said in the tweet, we've been covering F1 for 3 years. This is not a headline I've ever expected to read.
Yeah.
While you look for that, my driver of the season.
Okay, I got it. Sorry.
Okay, good.
And I quote, Mongolian government urges UN to take action against Verstappen and Red Bull. We will post, or you can go to racefans.net. We won't read the whole article. This stems back to Max's comments over team radio at the Portuguese Grand Prix in relation to Lance Stroll. Apparently, the Mongols are very upset with Max Verstappen and Red Bull, and they want him to pay. So the UN might get involved. There might be a war on the horizon in F1 with the Mongols.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but yeah, it's he should be disciplined. I am not disagreeing with that. He should absolutely be disciplined. That is excessive.
Very much so.
What a weird headline.
Yeah, we even talked about the whole Lando Norris thing beforehand too. It doesn't make any sense that he got punished and Max didn't get anything for it. So yeah.
And guys, it's the heat of the moment.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody ggets road rage in a road car. Now times that by 100 in an F1 car. Yes, it was inappropriate, and it's.
I got the fruit fly.
Okay, sorry. And it's rude what he says, obviously, and he is excessive in free practice. He needs to chill a little bit. But really, guys, the UN. I mean,
so they mic'd up Thierry Henry a few weeks ago when he's coaching the Montreal Impact now. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You hear, the number one Premier League striker as a manager going off on his players.
Oh, of
you would
course.
think he hates his players.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that video. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
As an Impact fan, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, I mean, we've all played amateur sports. If you guys mic'd up an amateur basketball,
Dude, I get
hockey
mad in
game,
COD, okay?
yeah, you would not want to see us the stuff we say off camera. We wouldn't have this YouTube channel if we said that on here. So.
Yeah. But yes, my driver of the season is actually going to be the hat that Chris is wearing, Daniel Ricciardo. I thought about this for a lot. Pierre Gasly is absolutely a given driver of the season. Lewis is absolutely a given driver. These are ones that everybody's going to choose. I chose Daniel Ricciardo because we, as an F1 podcast and YouTube channel, had written Renault off at the beginning of the season.
We did.
I'm looking at the points difference between Daniel and his teammate, and there's 55 points of difference. He's in fourth place. Got 2 podiums after 2 years of nothing, no podium, getting nowhere close. I think it was just a big resurgence here for Daniel Ricciardo, and he really showed up. I'm really hoping those tattoos count as 2 now because he has 2 podiums.
They did say he's not getting 2 tattoos.
One for both cheeks.
I think he said though one of the other mechanics or something said he'd get one.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was.
Shouldn't the bet have been if he gets a podium, Alain Prost fixes his nose?
Jesus.
But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo just, absolutely killed it. And like Max Verstappen, provided us entertainment. We never thought we'd see a double shoey with Lewis Hamilton.
That's true. I never thought I'd see that. That's true.
Yeah, what a year this has become, right?
It started off with, a terrible start to the year in terms of everything happening. But yeah, it's
been a silly year, right?
Yeah, it's the entertainment in F1 in the last 5-6 years, maybe not, taking away the Nico Rosberg year and Lewis Hamilton year, definitely up there for one of the better seasons of F1 in my opinion.
No, I like your choice too, and it's one that I would not disagree with.
Yeah,
and obviously have your say in the comments below.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a different driver that's a driver of the year. Obviously, like Lewis Hamilton is an obvious choice, right?
We know
he's
Lewis
a driver.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
We know he's a great driver.
Lewis has got an open goal, and all he has to do is just walk the football
Yeah,
in.
like
We-
we know he's a fantastic driver, and that's you can give him a driver this season, every driver of the week, like every single race,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
absolutely.
Exactly. So, but we just kind of want to go outside that box and look at. So, let us know who you think was the driver of the year. But yeah, I agree with all of your choices. I think those are probably in the top 3 if you were to put it.
Yeah.
And I think those guys have
Like
brought
Sergio
us.
Perez is definitely creeping up there.
There's another one, yeah.
But I think in
Yeah.
terms of a full season, he did have some hiccups here and there. But yeah, Sergio Perez was definitely knocking on the door there for one of the drivers up there as well.
Yeah,
So.
and maybe before this race, you could have thrown George Russell in there as
Yeah.
well. It's still in conversation, obviously, with what he's been able to do in his qualifying performances.
Yeah.
But
And and I think the one, the 2 people I would have expected not a lot more from, but to be definitely breaking that top 3 is both the McLaren drivers. Expecting a little bit more
Yeah.
out of them this year as well, and I'm surprised they're not. They did well. It's not like they had a terrible year. But I was expecting them to be a little bit closer, Like Lando Norris started off really well, and he had some, in the last few races, he did drive really well.
it's great you bring that up. I completely forgot he had a podium in the first
Yeah,
race.
It's his first ever, but he started off
Yeah.
so well, So it's just one of those things we were expecting, and that's why I went for Renault and Renault and Daniel Ricciardo.
No, I like it.
Here's another name you could throw in: Charles Leclerc.
Carlos Sainz.
Carlos
I don't like
Sainz.
a lot of drivers have really good years. There's not many drivers that had a bad year.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
Charles Leclerc made the best out of that car when nobody expected
Like,
anything from it.
I don't know. You could say Vettel's had a bad year, but I don't think that's his fault.
No,
Valtteri maybe has had an unlucky year.
I think this was
Mixed
a bad
with,
year
yeah,
for Valtteri.
with a poor year.
In
Yeah.
terms of his last 2 years, I think comparing to those,
Albon.
Yes,
awful.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the years you won't want to
Like,
look back on.
Like the Haas's, I don't know. It's nothing to say about the Haas's. They don't really have much to work with.
Esteban Ocon, but
Yeah, but he shook off the rust the first half of the year.
right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like-
Esteban Ocon, definitely, in my opinion, one of the most improved drivers from the beginning of the season, and that's coming from me. I fucking hate this guy.
Be careful. You won't want the French government
No.
coming after
I
us.
don't care. I said good things about Renault.
You balance it out.
You said Gasly was your driver of the year. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. There's a lot you could throw in there. So, yeah, let us know who is your driver of the year. Last point before we wrap up, and I think that would pretty much cover everything of this race.
Yeah.
I think this was one of our most detailed ones in terms of all the race incidents. It's been over a year since Sebastian Vettel has been on an F1 podium. We would have been at
wow.
Mexico had the original schedule stayed, and that was his last podium for Ferrari in 2019.
That's crazy, man.
Disappointing.
Over a year.
Disappointing.
Yeah, most likely will be his last too, at the rate that we're going at, unless some crazy races happen in the next couple of weeks.
This year.
I think
Yeah.
Racing
I thought you-
Point can do. Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, I thought you meant like in his career.
Oh
Like,
no,
really?
no, his
Yeah,
Ferrari
it's like-
career. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, that will do it for us, guys. That was a good wrap up of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix from Imola. Probably won't be back for Imola for a while, but thank you to Imola.
Yep.
We enjoyed that 2-day weekend. It should be a little bit of a quieter week for us. Obviously, we got a race coming up the week after this in Turkey. So that will be a very early start time for us again here in the Eastern time zone. So that will happen then. And then after that, we've only got 3 more races, the double in Bahrain and then Abu Dhabi, and we're done. That's it.
It's 3 races in a row for the last ones, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I thought they were
Or maybe
spaced
it's 3. It's
I think there's one
out. I
November
thought
15th.
Bahrain's a back-to-back, and then there's a week off
So-
before Abu Dhabi.
It might be Turkey, Bahrain, and then
There's a
season
triple header
finale.
left?
Yeah.
Really?
It is. I think
Why?
the last one is a triple header. Yeah,
Exactly.
Why do you need to do a triple
Yeah.
header at the end of the year?
triple header.
Oh.
So yeah, so we got one November 12th to 15th. Oh wait, I guess this isn't a triple header.
No.
No, never mind. Never
Well, it
mind.
depends. Well, when's Abu Dhabi? Because Bahrain's a back-to-back, but when's Abu Dhabi?
It doesn't say where Abu Dhabi is.
It won't let you scroll.
That's really stupid.
F1 website's broken. Oh god.
That's all right.
Oh god. No, we gotta get
The
this
pressure,
right.
the pressure.
Um,
I think it is going to be Turkey, Bahrain.
what the heck's going on?
Turkey.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Bahrain. Yeah.
No, it's
weekend.
Bahrain, Abu Dhabi.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Close enough.
Why?
But it,
I know.
It
It's,
is
oh,
a
I guess
triple-
they want to get it in before Christmas. That's fair.
yeah.
oh, yeah, that's right, because we're in December.
And it's on the 13th.
Yeah.
So like would have been the 20th if they pushed another week. That's a
Right,
little
that's
close
a
for
mess,
Christmas.
yeah.
That's fair.
And, they gotta close off the season and go, get all the stuff back. Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's-
Understandable.
I understand.
Rough on the teens, but I guess it makes sense.
And then we'll have you'll have the end of the season. You'll have your Christmas. You'll have your New Year's celebrations. Then you're gonna have to wait 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks for new cars, new liveries to come out. 2 weeks later, we got testing in Barcelona.
Yeah, shortened testing, but
It's gonna be a short off season.
yeah, I mean, don't mind.
Well, like next year is going to be more of a normal schedule, though, right?
Hopefully.
You'd hope so.
They haven't announced anything yet in terms of where they're
Looking-
racing or anything like that.
They're going to Saudi Arabia.
What?
Yeah, most likely 23 race schedule.
Oh, I think we went over this
Rumored.
last podcast.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
a
was like-
rumor, nothing confirmed.
I think I had the same reaction. Like, what? What are you talking
yeah,
about?
I know. I had the same
Guys, I
reaction
got
too.
another fruit fly. I'm fucking killing it.
We
Nice.
should go before you decimate the entire fruit
and
fly
fruit fly
population.
population is not a fan of this podcast.
A lot of plants down here, guys.
Uh,
My dad's a big plant guy.
blank guy.
I just want to comment. I'm looking at this picture right now of Mercedes, celebrating their title. Do you think they print these shirts at the first day of the season?
I think they printed them last year.
Yeah, their last
They
year
have the
shirts.
next few years printed out
Yeah.
already,
Yeah, they don't have that problem where they have to send it over after
No,
somewhere.
yeah, it's like they had it ready, good to go.
Yeah.
Already got the confetti out. They're definitely have the celebrations at the beginning of the year too.
They brought them last week too, and they just ended up break them out.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, that's a cool giveaway. I'm not
Very
gonna
cool
lie.
giveaway. Yeah, so head over to our Twitter, enter it there, and then we'll try and promote it as well on other channels. So yeah, retweet that, share it to your friends as well. The more obviously likes that we get, the quicker we can give away the prize. So yeah, go ahead and enter the 100K view challenge giveaway. That'll do it for us then. That's a wrap on episode number 96. We're even approaching 100, just like Lewis
Yeah,
Hamilton.
that's
We're
right.
getting close. We'll do something a little bit special for the 100th episode. But that will do it for us today. Thank you very
Wait.
much, everybody.
Is this our 94th episode?
96th.
I was gonna say, are we timing this hit the races perfectly?
Yeah, almost.
Almost. Yeah.
Almost. Lewis needs to catch up to us.
That's right.
He's almost there, though. 3
I
away.
think that's impossible.
Yeah. At this point.
No,
It would be impossible.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll do something a little bit fun and special for that race as well. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate everything. Check out our website, TBMF1Show.com, and follow all of our social channels found in the description below. Until next time, the Turkish Grand Prix, we will see you then. Take care, guys.